Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Dinar and Dong Updates. Sunday, April 6th, 2025. Major currency developments. Dinar and Dong, poised for historic moves. The global currency community is abuzz today, with what could be the most significant updates we've seen in years. If you're someone who's been patiently holding on to Iraqi Dinar, IQD, or Vietnamese Dong, VND, then this is the moment you've likely been waiting for. The rumors have evolved into credible signals, and the updates we're seeing now may signal the final stages of a process many have anticipated for over a decade. This is not your average speculative update. We're talking real movement, concrete actions in the banking world, updates from redemption centers, and a growing list of confirmations suggesting that both the dinar and dong could soon be valued at 4 to 5 USD per unit. It's time to sit down, take a breath, and really absorb what's happening. Exchange rate projections. Gaining traction. Multiple reputable sources within financial institutions and private currency exchange networks are now confirming that the projected exchange values for both the IQD and VND are climbing steadily. What was once considered overly optimistic speculation is now being viewed as a plausible reality, with live rate screens in some banking circles reportedly reflecting these higher valuations. For years, currency holders have hoped for a reset, a re-evaluation, or an event that would lift the values of these currencies to reflect the true economic potential of Iraq and Vietnam. Now, for the first time, we're seeing evidence that such a shift may be close. Private groups and special tiers within the redemption process are allegedly being briefed with these updated numbers. The fact that such discussions are taking place in official environments, under NDA conditions, indicates a serious shift is in motion. Redemption centers are gearing up. Over the last several weeks, redemption centers across the United States have been preparing in ways we haven't seen before. These centers, often kept under wraps due to their sensitive nature, are reportedly operating on expanded hours, bringing in full-time staff even over weekends and holidays. Insiders suggest that personnel at these centers have received new training material, operational manuals, and most importantly, updated rate sheets for the dinar and dong, reflecting values ranging from $4 to $5. This, again, lends credibility to the idea that we're entering the final phase of a long-anticipated revaluation. Several trusted sources within the community have confirmed that appointments for Tier 3 and Tier 4A groups have already started quietly. Meanwhile, Tier 4B, which represents the broader public segment of currency holders, is expected to begin scheduling as soon as this Tuesday. This aligns with timelines forecasted by analysts and currency commentators for months. Iraq's bold economic shift. What's driving this sudden momentum? Let's start with Iraq. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has instructed the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, to expand capital deployment beyond their standard 3-year national budget framework. The push is toward long-term economic development, a clear signal that Iraq is transitioning into a globally integrated economy. This shift is about more than just oil. Iraq is investing heavily in infrastructure, education, telecommunications, and digital banking, each a component of a broader strategy to diversify their economy and stabilize their currency. A major piece of that puzzle is the digital dinar, which is now nearing public release. The digital dinar is designed to bring Iraq into alignment with global payment systems, allowing for transparent financial transactions, international trade compliance, and integration into platforms like SWIFT. With this infrastructure in place, Iraq is positioning itself not as a follower, but as a leader in the new financial era. The rollout of a national digital currency signals financial maturity and provides the framework necessary for a sustainable, higher-valued dinar. This is no longer theory. It's execution. Vietnam's global rise and the digital dong. Let's not overlook Vietnam, whose economic engine has been humming at full speed. Vietnam has experienced a surge in international investment, primarily due to its manufacturing power, low labor costs, and strategic trade partnerships across Asia, Europe, and the U.S. Its economy continues to expand in tech, renewable energy, and industrial exports, strengthening the case for a revaluation of the Vietnamese dong. Like Iraq, Vietnam is also laying the groundwork for digital currency integration. Banking officials in Hanoi have openly discussed plans for a blockchain-based digital dong, a currency designed not just for domestic use, but for seamless international transactions. Digital currency frameworks are expected to stabilize and modernize the dong, reduce inflation volatility, and place Vietnam in a stronger position for trade and financial diplomacy. As the world moves toward digital finance, Vietnam is not just keeping pace, it's actively working to leap ahead. Banks across Asia have begun recalibrating their internal currency risk and exchange models to accommodate the dong's potential rise. Digital wallets, cross-border banking APIs, and institutional investment tools are being tested, built, and implemented right now. The U.S. redemption process. What to expect? Back on U.S. soil, the process for currency redemption appears more structured than ever. If you're holding substantial amounts of dinar or dong, the path to exchange likely involves a scheduled appointment at a designated redemption center rather than walking into a typical bank. These appointments are expected to offer access to special contract rates, potentially higher than the public screen rates, based on the amount of currency you hold and your intended use of funds. Contract rates as high as $6 or more per IQD have been floated in private briefings. The redemption centers are designed for discrete, secure transactions, complete with one-on-one consultations, access to wealth advisors, and on-site legal and tax guidance. The aim is to ensure a smooth and confidential process for both the institution and the individual holder. Holders should prepare now. Ensure all identification documents are valid. Double-check contact information with your currency dealer or platform, and be ready to act if you receive notification for an appointment. Oil prices, market pressures, and Iraq's strategy. While all this sounds incredibly optimistic, it's important to stay grounded in economic reality. Oil prices remain a major factor in Iraq's budget stability. With Brent crude prices recently dipping below $65 per barrel, the pressure is on Iraq to maintain financial balance. However, unlike past years, Iraq appears far more prepared. Government initiatives are diversifying national income sources, investing in agriculture, mining, technology, and finance. Iraq is learning not to rely solely on oil revenues, a maturity that global financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank are recognizing and rewarding. This proactive approach bolsters the country's eligibility for a stronger, internationally viable currency. And as Iraq clears up lingering debt and reforms key banking laws, confidence in the dinar continues to grow. International cooperation and compliance. Iraq's engagement with global financial systems is deeper than ever. The country is working closely with international regulators, adhering to new anti-corruption measures, and aligning with AML, anti-money laundering, and KYC, Know Your Customer standards. These are not minor steps. They are prerequisites for full integration into the world economy. At the same time, Vietnam is entering new trade and financial treaties that require currency transparency, stability, and fair market valuations. These developments signal that both countries are actively restructuring their economies, not for survival, but for leadership. There's also chatter in elite banking circles that a global financial realignment is underway. This could include synchronized digital currency launches, debt forgiveness programs, and a reevaluation of how emerging market currencies are valued in relation to the USD and other majors. A long journey nearing fulfillment. For those who've been invested in this journey, whether financially, emotionally, or both. This is a deeply personal moment. Many holders have spent years, even decades, hoping for a shift that finally reflects the value they saw in these currencies. They've weathered political instability, misleading updates, false starts, and economic downturns. But now the clouds are parting, and the pieces appear to be coming together in a way that feels concrete, verifiable, and imminent. Unlike the recycled rumors of the past, today's information is coming from active sources inside redemption centers, banks, and government agencies. The energy is different. The urgency is real. What you should do now. So what comes next? 1. Stay alert. Check your email, messages, or platforms where you registered your currency. If you're on a notification list, the call could come any day now. 2. Get organized. Have your ID, proof of currency purchase, and redemption goals ready. Know what you want before you walk into the room. 3. Stay calm. The moment is big, but don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Seek advice from professionals, understand the tax implications, and make decisions that align with your future goals.